Welcome to Hymn Stories, a podcast about how our songs of the faith came to be and how they have encouraged, comforted, and strengthened believers like you and me. Hymn Stories is a part of the Media Gratiae podcast network. My name is Ryan Bush. Caroline Sandell was born in Sweden in 1832 to Jonas Sandell, a Lutheran pastor, and his wife. Lena, as she came to be known, greatly loved and admired her father. She was a frail and often sick child, and she usually preferred to be with her father in his study rather than with other children playing outdoors. Two experiences in Lena's life had a tremendous impact on her faith and subsequently her hymn writing. At an early age, she was stricken with partial paralysis that had her confined to her bed most of her early life. She had been attended to by many physicians, and not one of them gave her any chance for a full recovery. It seemed that she was to be bedridden for the rest of her life. Her parents, however, continued to pray that God would make her well. One Sunday morning, when Lena was 12 years old, she was reading the Bible and praying in her bed while her parents were at the church building for the Lord's Day service. When they returned to their home, they were utterly shocked to find Lena dressed and walking around the house freely. God had healed her. After this experience, Lena began to write poetry expressing her gratefulness to and love for God. At the age of 16, her first book of poetry was published. The second experience took place in 1858, 14 years after she was healed, when she was 26 years old. Lena dearly loved her father. She spent much of her childhood with him and continued to be very close to him as a young woman. One day, as she crossed Lake Vättern toward Berg with Jonas, her father, the boat lurched and pitched in the choppy, wind-whipped waters. Jonas struggled to navigate the small vessel and accidentally fell overboard. He drowned before Lena's eyes. It must have felt like her whole world sunk beneath the waves with him. Although Lena had written hymns prior to the death of her father, now more than ever she expressed her faith and hope in Christ in verse. It seems that streams of praise flowed from her broken heart. Her hymns reflect a simple, tender, and childlike faith in her Redeemer. We can see through her hymns that she experienced a real sense of the abiding presence of Jesus in her life. One of those hymns that is still sung in many local assemblies is called Day by Day. The original text of this hymn was written in 1865, 7 years after her father perished. Each of the three stanzas illustrates an assurance of God's future grace. What can a Christian do but rest in the promised grace of God? Despite having lost her father Jonas so tragically, Lena still could write, "He whose heart is kind beyond all measure gives unto each day what he deems best." In the second verse of Day by Day, she referenced Deuteronomy 33:25, which says, "As your days, so shall your strength be." Thank you for joining me in this episode of Hymn Stories. May the Lord bless you and keep you as you sing and make melody in your heart to Him.